And joining me is a man who, well, second time on the program. Let me say a pleasant good evening to radio talk show host Heavy. Good evening to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you, Mikee K. Good afternoon to the Observer.
You sound as though you feel you're beat down. What's wrong?
I'm sound like I've had?
You sound as though you've had a tough one.
Well, I don't know, but you know, I'm not doing it swim you like that, you know. I have a lot of updates in my life, so.
I know how it is, trust me. Sometimes you feel as though the battle is not, either you feel it's not worth it or you're not getting anywhere, but it's not easy. And I want to start with that. I mean, there are some days that are going to be better than others, but what keeps you motivated?
I have to say my kids, I have to say my children, I have to say my love for my country. You know, I believe that this country could be a better country. You know, one of the best countries in the Caribbean, with proper leadership, proper guidance, people with bright ideas to move the country forward. You know, I mean, not definitely, we have been at the mercy of bad leadership for the past 10 years. Incompetent leaders, and it's just making the country, you know, go down a dark place right now. And I hoping that this year, you know, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, well, the majority that is, open their eyes and do the right thing so that we can be back. We can try at least to go back into recovery mode. Right now, Trinidad and Tobago on life support.
Yeah, we just had Dr. Indira Sajiwan on, economist, and I mean, I know she tried her best not to sell doom and gloom, but the reality of it just simply doesn't look good. The major question is that the powers that be did not make the global economy a priority to see the changes and the shifting that was taking place, and started to put things in place that would either protect us or, of course, most importantly, help us be a part of this whole productive growth. But that didn't take place. And so where are we at now? And of course, I had to remind people that in May of 2018, it was the same Mr. Imbo, the finance minister, who said, delivering the mid-year budget review, that the economy is turning around. In fact, it has turned around. He said revenue collection is up, the non-oil sector is growing, and the energy sector is booming. Of course, that does not reflect the reality. I also want to talk on the issue of crime, because in November of 2020, the then Attorney General, Faris Alwari, and this was during the debate on the amendment of the anti-gang bill, he said, and I quote, "The number of gang members in Trinidad and Tobago had dropped by some 38% since 2018, and the number of gang members has been decreased by 57%. Gangs in 2018, the amount was 211, and it dropped to 129. The members of these gangs totaled 2,400, and it dropped to 1,014. That's a 57 decrease, according to the Attorney General at that time, Faris Alwari. Also want to remind, in December of 2018, that same year, the then Minister of National Security, Stuart Young, and he said this at a graduation ceremony for municipal police officers at Napa, he said that government and the police are united to win the war against crime. He said, and I quote, "All of the country's national security agencies are working more closely together." And he added that criminals should be warned. Touch one, touch all. Now we heard, what I read there for you is that, we heard about the economy, we heard about the issue of crime, but yet still, then what happened? There was a decrease, there were less members, then why is gangs still a major issue for the TTPS, and by extension, the people of this country?
I think all that what you have read there, right, there's no evidence or concrete proof to back it up. None. I don't know. I really don't know where they get their statistics from, but the reality, right, does not match what they are saying. So it has to be that either they are lying to us, or either they were getting misinformation or being misinformed themselves, right? All what you read there is, to me, that's just publicity. That is just that's PR, to make people feel like, or put the minds of the people in a better place, which is the roles and functions of most politicians.
Yeah, but there's a difference between, public relations and addressing the people of the country to give them that sense of security. I mean, think about it. I'm sure when you heard it in 2018 from Inbud, many of the people who are locked on and say, well, what? Things happening, boy, things going to change. There's going to be a difference. I'm certain that people, when they heard about the anti-gang bill, they thought the way how it was sold to us is the all and end all. They know where the gangsters are, they know where they sleep, they know where they eat, they know all their movement. And then when you heard the man who is coming in to be prime minister soon saying that, listen, all security agencies working together, everybody in line, full amalgamation, total, standing together, dealing with this issue, and yet still we have record numbers of murders. I mean, for the year so far, 29.
But so you have just answered the same. You have just answered your own self, right, Mikee? Everyone's also good on holding up, and the gang numbers were dropping, and the murder rate was, and the what is in the economy booming and all these things. Why is we in this situation today?
And that's a major question.
Yeah, it's because I have to say, they were lying to us. They were outright blatant lying to us. I, for one, didn't believe anything they say because I know that these people not in touch with the ground to know what's going on. And I'm saying to you, even if they were getting information from people on the ground, it's either the people were lying to them or they were just making a fictional story to come and tell the people, the public of Trinidad to make them feel that they are doing something good or they are doing something right or they are working, right? But as far as I'm concerned, we're not seeing no kind of reward for what they are saying. We're not seeing anything. Matter of fact, it got no worse, right? So in my opinion, all those media reports and all those speeches and fancy words and, the numbers, it doesn't add up. The maths not matching. So quite frankly, what is happening in the country right now, and we can see it, we're facing it every day. Do you understand? We're in a SOE and it's like normal. It's murders, a man gone down in the middle of Port of Spain, broad daylight, right? Yeah. People getting murdered, cell robberies, car theft, everything is like business as usual. And we're supposed to be in a SOE where the Minister of National Security and the supposed to be Prime Minister soon to be, right, is saying, came out in a press conference saying the reason why they're having an SOE is because of the guns and high-power rifles that are on the streets and the gangs and all these things. But we're in an SOE, they extended till April, and we are not even seeing a difference with the SOE. So then what is all this about? They have no plan. They have no plan.
But the thing about it is that, all right, coming into office, it was said they had no plan. It was quite clear when they started operating that they had no plan. We are in an election year, and we're still hearing that they have no plan. Then what is there to campaign on, and what is there to gravitate to?
I think the PNM will campaign on dirty racial politics. They are accustomed. They will try to play with the emotions of the people by coming up. They will make up some big lie, like how to make up the email gate and scandal and all this other drama to make the opposition look like it's the worst thing, right? They will come up with some kind of scheme, right? And beat that. They will use the 1% media to sell it on the newspapers and on the TV shows and on the radio programs, right? And they want to push the racial agenda and race that all they have. They cannot come to the people with no kind of we call it like they did anything for the country for the past 10 years. They have no track record of showing that they have done positive to affect the lives of the people in a positive light. They have not performed. So they cannot come to say, well, we did this, we did that, we did that. Vote us back in and we're going to do this again.
Yeah, but they have to be banking. They have to be banking on something heavy. I mean, with your experience and your interaction with, on the evenings, I'm sure you're getting a lot of different narratives and, people expressing themselves. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at it, there's absolutely nothing. I mean, we could have 1 million shows. We could have 1 million programs highlighting all of these things. There's absolutely nothing there. As a matter of fact, I invite people to come on this program and tell us exactly what has been done in some parts of Trinidad where the lives of the citizens are better. We've had economists who says, listen, nothing has happened. Failure. We've had people who are criminologists and they have made it clear. Nothing. Failure. Then what are they going to campaign on? And what do they expect people to gravitate to? A new leader, and that's it?
Mikee K, my question is, or my belief is that they have nothing to campaign on, so they're planning to see the election. And that's my honest opinion. I'm saying my gut feeling here, right? If the PNM goes into this 2025 general election, they're going in with nothing on the table, right?
Right.
They have. Hear what they have. They have the president in the shirt pocket. That is Speaker of the House and the Speaker of the Senate in the back pocket. That is the police commissioner in the right pocket, right? That the chief of defense staff and all these people and them in the pocket. And they also have the backings of the 1% financer, right? If we don't get foreign observers here or we don't get diplomatic observers here to oversee this 2025 election, and I almost forgot, also got the EBC in the pocket too. We need to have observers for this election, right? Or the PNM can see this election just like when we see the election in Venezuela. Right? And that's the only way I can see they win in this next general election. Because they have nothing to campaign on, Mikey.
But that's
they have nothing to campaign on.
No, don't get me wrong. They have crime, they have poor infrastructure, they have poor education results, poor health care. So they have a lot. But the reality of it is that, again, what are the people going to gravitate to? When in fact there's absolutely nothing. Now when you see all these people jumping up after the screening process and wearing red and what have you, it makes you wonder that they are unaffected by what's taking place. And I'm certain that they themselves are trying to keep their heads above water. So I think you made a very strong point. It's a matter of actually stealing the election because you simply cannot win it outright.
Correct. And to be honest, Mikee K, those people in the minority here, I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, and even people who used to support PNM, right, still saying that they cannot support what's going on right now. They're saying that a lot of people, right, but we have the fanatics. Nobody can convince them of anything.
Right.
Right? But I'm talking about the right-thinking supporters who really don't like what Dr. Rowley's doing to the party. They don't like the choice that he made as a successor. They don't like how he's handling things in the internals with regard to the meetings they have in the Barrick House. I think it's looking like a kind of high-handed market kind of approach what they're doing there. And then everybody coming out smiling and happy and saying Team PNM, one team. And then in another video in the anniversary, seeing it passing people shit and not shaking nobody, certain people's hands and all these things. It is looking very bad as a PNM supporter to be seeing all this going on, right? And to stomach it. Right? We have activists like Julia Davy doing lives on Facebook and crying and bawling down the face because she don't understand what's going on with the party. And all these things, you see, there's nothing good coming out right now inside the camp of the PNM.
And of course, we've heard that, he's asked for CARICOM observers. I'm certain they might ask for some, they might bring some other observers. But I think the key thing that we have to look at, the right thinking people have to look at, that this campaign, when it comes to handing it over to Mr. Young, and he picks up the mantle, and there's just a few months left, those few months may be utilized to vilify the UNC.
Exactly, but that is all they have. The only thing they can do is try to vilify the UNC and make the UNC look unattractive and not an option. That is what they're going to try to do.
Yeah.
Now, they are also doing something called, they're doing an in-house screening, meaning that candidates that went up before, they're moving wrong and shifting wrong and putting new faces and all these things, right?
Yeah.
Right. That is to make the party look a little more attractive. So someone will say, well, okay, I didn't like Hines, but this new fella, let me give him a chance. Because he knew, right? They move him, the wrong step down from the Martin, they put this new young, fresh, bright guy down there to make the party, make the party look attractive, more attractive in the Martin. And the same certain moves making a new guy in until he's over, and other new people are in the forefront coming up for screening, right?
Right.
So it's like a whole, they're trying to build a whole new party around Stuart Young to head into the 2025 election.
But
the
Heavy,
people are this is like new clean slate.
yeah, but Heavy, how could it be a new clean slate? All right, so it's cosmetic, but we have to understand something. Everything we spoke about, even the fact that when Minister Imbert spoke about the economy turning around, Mr. Young was in the cabinet. When it is Awari spoke about the fact that there was a reduction in the membership of gangs and how many gangs, Mr. Stuart Young was in the cabinet. When Mr. Young himself said that the government and the police are united to win the war against crime in 2018, he was in the cabinet. When the babies died in the NICU, he was in the cabinet. When it is the alleged money is missing from the Auditor General asking these questions, he was in the cabinet. So again, what is there to sell except to vilify the UNC?
Exactly. They have nothing to sell, Mikee K. There's nothing they can go on.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for seeing that. I want to thank you for seeing that, because I hope now that people understand the seriousness of what's taking place here and what they intend to do. If it's a matter of buying time, they can't buy time to put anything in place for anybody at this time. If you didn't get it in the 9+ years, you ain't gonna get it now. So let's be honest. So it has to be now to go out there and vilify and demonize the opposition, make it look like the worst thing, with the hopes that their political light could shine bright. And that is very, very scary.
Correct.
Very scary.
Correct.
Any closing comments? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to remind people, stay focused. Do not be distracted by the distraction. They're going to come at you. They're going to try to sell you dreams. They're going to try to sell you rainbows and sunshine and everything else. Remember what they did to us for the last 9.5 years. Remember the gas raising. Remember the diversity pipe. Remember the crime, the murders, the home invasions. Remember everything that was done to this Twin Island Republic, this beautiful country, right? Everything negative that was done to us was done by this government, right? So stay focused, and we just wait for the election bell to ring so we can go and do the right thing and get rid of them.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that.